So you clicked on this video because you want to grow your photography or videography business for 2025. If you're feeling stuck and you don't know where to go, this video is going to be perfect for you. If you're wondering why you should listen to this guy, I'm somebody that's been doing photography for probably like 10 years now. And you might be saying, well, you've been doing it for 10 years, the game has changed. And trust me, it has. And ironically, I had to start over my entire business recently and kind of, build everything up from scratch. Recently changed locations. So having first-hand experience and having to regrow a business, I think now is the perfect time for anybody that's trying to get into the game. And this video particularly, I'm not going to be focusing on how to take better photos or better videos. I'll make a separate video for that. For this, I'm focusing on business structure, I'm focusing on marketing, and I'm focusing on strategies. These are the things that I think people are really neglecting because listen, it's always easy to, well, let me not say easy. It's easier to find how to take better photos online. But when it comes to structuring a business, when it comes to having systems, stuff like that, I really don't, how am I, one second, guys. Yeah, when it comes to like systems and strategies, I don't think we have enough online information. So hopefully with this video, this can really help to kickstart your career for 2025 and have you going full-time in your business and in your passions and your career. And I mean, trust me, having a full-time business, it can be painful at times, but it also is one of the most wonderful things ever. That level of financial freedom, that level of freedom in general, it's indescribable. So let's begin. So the first thing I want to talk about is business structure. Now, I don't know what part of the world that you're in, but honestly, if you're trying to take your business seriously, I would first tell you to, get your first sale. But honestly, this is something that you're sure you want to do, then I'll tell you to just go ahead and get registered. It's not a lot of money to register a business, and the benefit of registering a business is that one, it allows you to have like a structured system so that you can, start separating stuff like your accounts. So you can actually start, opening up like credit cards or bank accounts. And just, if you want people to take you seriously, you don't want it to be like a hustle kind of thing. So my first step would be to you is to start whether it's going to be a sole proprietorship or an LLC. I mean, I would definitely say if you're really serious about it, open an LLC because there's lots of benefits tax-wise in having an LLC. Not gonna go too much into like, structural stuff in terms of getting an LLC. Just look up the requirements in your particular area and just know that once you have a fully registered business, that's where you can go ahead and start opening bank accounts. Something that I wish I was doing from the dawn of my business, 10 years ago, was having everything separate. Now, I just kind of like ran into entrepreneurship. There was no like mentor or anything. So for the longest time, I kind of had everything in just one place, just one account looking at all my stuff. And now, as a professional for, a couple of years now, I realize that's a very bad thing to do. Like when you have your business, when you get paid for work, you need to separate stuff. You need to separate your taxes. You need to separate your business expenses. You need to separate if you're paying yourself a profit, you need to separate the business profit. Basically have things in different places because you don't want to see, let's say you get $1,000 for a job, right? You don't want to see the entire $1,000 and think, okay, this is all mine. No, a part of that money goes into buying new equipment. A part of that money goes into paying for whatever expenses you have in your business. Photography business can have expenses like subscription sites, can have expenses like, maybe buying camera equipment, can have expenses like, gas, whatever it is. You want to have those things factored in because sometimes you will start your business and you'll see money coming in and you'll not realize that, okay, this isn't all my money, especially taxes, guys. Listen, the tax money is not yours. It doesn't belong to you. Take it out and just put it in one place aside because you don't want to like get fooled when you're seeing this big figure and it's not actually yours. So that's something I really like implement you guys to really focus on is your business structure. Decide how you want to run your business, whether it's going to be an LLC, whether it's going to be a sole proprietorship, whether it's going to be a single member LLC where it's just you, or you're going to have it with someone else. But just make sure you keep everything organized. Make sure you keep your expenses structured so that when the time comes, it's easy to manage things. Another thing I'd say for you to do is to invest into a CRM. Now, CRM falls into business structure as well. So CRM basically stands for Customer Relationship Management System. And listen, this is something that I've recently started using, and I have to tell you, it is an absolute game changer. As an individual entrepreneur, you might be thinking, why do I need a CRM? Every business needs a CRM. Basically, once you have clients, what the CRM does, it keeps all your clients in one big database. So stuff like tracking emails, tracking deadlines or project, correspondence. You might not think that because you're a small business that you need that, but just having all your clients' email in one place makes it so much easier for you to send out like a blast email, or I'm having a promotion, or for you to keep up to date with your projects. Like CRM has single-handedly changed my business so much. For me personally, I'm using Honeybook, but there are a bunch of different CRMs that you can use. There's Dubsado, there is Go High Level, which is extremely great, but like at my current level, I don't think I want to go there. But if I was scaling even higher, because CRMs are basically used like by big companies. Think of any big company that you're working with. They have you in some kind of CRM, sending you emails, keeping in contact in what part of the customer journey you're in. Basically, you just need a CRM. You need to have that so you can have a good relationship with all your customers. When you sell a customer in photography or videography, don't think that you're only selling them once. For instance, for me, I do weddings. Yeah, let's say I do a wedding video with a client. It's possible that I may be able to do a baby shower with them. It's possible that I may be able to do an anniversary shoot with them. But there's no way that my brain is going to keep in contact with all their details to remember. So stuff like that is important to take notes of, to have systems that can take care of those things for you. Because it's easy for those things to slip in the crack, especially when you are the photographer and the videographer doing the actual groundwork, and then you're also the marketer. So like, trust me, it is important. If you have a CRM in your business from the start, I think that it will drastically increase your outcome, your profitability, just overall a good experience. Like it just really changes the game. I cannot stress it enough. I'll leave a link to Honeybook down below in the description. If you have any questions about CRMs, feel free to hit me up. But basically, it's just something that you'd use to kind of keep in contact with clients, to keep up to date on projects, and to just overall have a great system. And next thing I want to talk about is creating systems for scalability. So this first section I'm stressing is business structure. You have to create things in a sense that your business can run without you, which is why it's important to get that CRM, which is why it's important to separate those accounts, and it's why it's important to outsource. Now, as a freelancer, it can be very tempting to do everything yourself. And for the longest time, that's what I was doing. But even something as simple as hiring a virtual assistant, which it doesn't have to be somebody that's physically next to you, can just be somebody online, whether they're in another country if you want to get it cheaper, or if it's a family friend, or if it's just a friend. Like, you just want to have somebody that can do some of those digital tasks, whether it's following up with emails, whether it's checking your calendar, because you don't want your business to be so dependent on you that if something happens to you that you're unable to do anything. Now, obviously, if you're just starting, you don't need to go ahead and hire an assistant. I'm just saying that you need to create a system that is not so dependent on you, so whereas if you're unable to do anything, it stops moving. That is something I had to learn the hard way, because we are very tempted to be this one-man band, but that's not how any big business works. And it doesn't mean that you need to become a company that has 100 employees. Honestly, a great efficient business could probably work with less than 10 people if each person has like a very pivotal role. But when it's only one person doing everything, you really are, very close to that step of failure. So I think that's everything I want to go through in the basic structure part. Remember, you're just starting, so just try and have your structure down. Let's go over it again. Register your business, whether it's going to be a sole proprietorship or LLC. I'm assuming that you already have some skill in photography and videography. If you don't, watch some of the other videos on the channel, or send me a DM. Let's see if we can talk. But once you've done that part, open your business bank accounts, apply for your lines of credit, your credit card, stuff like that, because you want to build up funding. Funding is very important to your business. Not saying you're going to just go ahead and spend all that money, but you create goals, you create timelines, and you want to have access to funds to like run your business for the first couple of months before stuff kind of starts booming. And if you follow this path, I'm going to show you a way to like start getting stuff booming without having to do a lot of the guesswork. So let me go to the second thing where I want to touch with you guys is paid marketing. Wow, it's actually next. Didn't think it was going to be next. So hear me out, guys. When I just started, I was very anti paid marketing. In fact, I just feel like, why am I going to spend money on paid marketing when I can just go up to 100 people? That is probably one of the things that I would arguably say has held me back the biggest. I feel like if I had adopted a different approach to paid marketing, I'd probably be 10 times more successful to this day. But again, we have to learn our lessons. So hear me out. Paid marketing right now, I think we're in like a golden era when it comes to paid marketing. Imagine before people had to spend like thousands of dollars to go into like a magazine or a newspaper or whatever it be the case, and hopefully get clients that are not like targeted, or we don't know if they could like the product or whatever. You know, it's so much of a chance. Where right now we have social media where you can literally target specific interests, specific locations, specific ages, specific, you can get so detailed in your targeting where you can literally find your perfect customer just by investing, you know, way less. Like I'd imagine to go into like I'd imagine a billboard, right? Let's look how much it is to get a billboard in Times Square, just hypothetically, because I have no idea. Times Square billboard cost. It says it varies. $150 per hour for 24 hours. Okay, a 500 for 20 plays. Okay, honestly, it's a lot cheaper than I thought. I think it's a lot cheaper now because of social media. But let's say you spend a $500 to be seen in Times Square. You have no idea who is seeing you in Times Square. You have no idea if it's going to convert. If you spend $500 in paid advertising, whether that's going to be Google, whether that's going to be Facebook, whether that's going to be TikTok ads, you are almost, unless you have like a bad service or a bad offer. Because listen, I don't want to make it seem like, oh, once you spend on ads, you're automatically guaranteed. But if you actually properly do your advertising, you're almost guaranteed clients, especially if you have a good service, because it's so targeted to the point where if you know who your ideal client is, if you're spending money to reach that clientele, unless you have a horrible product, you're almost guaranteed sales. If you're a photographer, you take good photos and you have a good service and a good deal, if you invest in paid advertising, you can reach hundreds of thousands of people. In the last couple of months, I have estimated impressions of around 200,000. I won't. I mean, I've probably spent maybe like $4,000, $5,000 in advertising, and all this is recently. All this is probably in the past year, and honestly, I have to say like that is something that I would never imagine. I feel like there was like a mental block that I would have to like get over to realize, wow, you really have to spend it where that is concerned. Because I would just think, why do I need to do that when I can just go up to people? It will never be as accurate because you'll never know. You will never be able to gauge someone as much as these algorithms can tell if somebody is interested in your product, or if they'll be likely to buy it, or if they're just about to be looking for a photographer or a videographer. So listen, get in front of people with paid marketing. Do not be afraid. I'm not gonna say you only have to use like Facebook and Google ads and stuff like that, but personally, I have a bias towards those things. I think that Facebook ads are honestly a cheat code right now. I don't know how long it's, I think we're in a golden era. I don't know how long it's gonna last for, but right now, 2025, if you have a small business and you're trying to grow phenomenally, invest some money in paid advertising. You're guaranteed to get clients. If it doesn't work as well as you'd like, you know, do strategies. Launch your ad, launch your offer. If it's not good enough, reframe it. See what the market wants. Test different things. It doesn't mean that you're going to get your perfect results instantaneously. Like my first set of ads were not perfect, but I did courses. I learned more. I watched YouTube videos. I got better in that field. And through that, trust me, it's been amazing. So let me give you guys some general tips. As someone that's done a lot of like paid mentorships and random courses and random events, like listen, if I see an ad conference anywhere close to me, I'm going there. So personally, as a photographer and a videographer, you're gonna have a bias towards Instagram because that platform is biased towards photography and videography. So people that are looking for that will usually be on Instagram. I heard Google Ads is very good. I don't have much experience with Google Ads, but I've seen and heard very good results from my peers. I'd have a bias toward an Instagram ad. I'd create a very good offer that explains exactly what I'm selling and what I'm providing to my clients. I'd go out there, shoot an ad. I'd, based on people that I've interacted with, people say that, listen, in terms of your paid advertising budget, you want to be spending at least $500 a month. Personally, from someone that I highly respect in the field, they said you should be spending around $1,500 a month on Facebook and Instagram ads. If you spend $50 per day, let me just work that out. Yeah, if you spend $50 a day and there's 30 days in the month, you're spending around $1,500. based on what that person said, at $50 a day, you're able to get a large enough sample size, because when you're spending small amounts in ads, you might not reach enough people to really tell, what the data is. You need large amounts of data so that you can make decisions. So when you're spending around $50 a day, which I know that sounds like a lot, which is why you're going to get your business funding, which is why you're probably going to say, you're not going to just jump out and say you're going to start it. You're probably going to have some money saved to start that business. Don't just raw dog your business. Maybe you're not ready to quit your full-time job. Maybe you need to take some money from your full-time job and save, or take some money from the full-time job and invest. But just have some marketing budget. I think you could start 500, but now in an ideal world, if you're starting with maybe $1,500, then like $50 a day, and that will be able to show you good results. And don't get me wrong, if you're spending that much, you'll probably reach a lot of people. So I don't know what you charge for photography, but let's say you charge $300 for a shoot, then you would only need 5 shoots to cover your ads budget. And with that 5 shoots, you're reaching new clients, which might give you referrals. You're also reaching new people, which might give you followers. So like, it's a very compounding thing. Even though you're spending money on the ads, you're not just getting potential clients, you're getting bigger reach, you're building your brand. So it's something that I think you should like, don't ever stop advertising, paid advertising, if you are serious about your business. Just always be on it, and just realize that you have to invest to make money. Like, if you're not investing, guys, I'm sorry, it's going to be hard. And don't get me wrong, there's ways to circumvent that. If you're willing to do the guerrilla marketing and going to people directly and networking in person, it's just going to take you a lot longer. Because I'm not saying that you should only do one. In fact, I'm very big on networking, going to conferences. I go to like every conference I can. But you have to understand that you are one individual with 24 hours in your day. And right now, as I'm doing this video, my Facebook ads are running, which helps me to get more clients. So it's like, while you're asleep, your ads will be running. You are one individual, so there's a limit to how much marketing you can do, while your ads they're always working once you're putting that money inside. So yeah, definitely look into that. So I spoke about paid marketing, and I think paid marketing, personally right now I have a bias. If I was to start, I'd focus more on paid marketing, but just to touch on some organic marketing as well. Don't underestimate the value of business cards. Don't underestimate the value of reaching out to like related people in your space. So like, I am a photographer, wedding photographer. So I can reach out to other vendors in the wedding photography or the wedding space. So florists, persons that are catering, wedding planners. I can reach out to those people and like, offer my services pro bono, or try to collab of some sorts. If you're doing portrait photography, feel free to reach out to popular models, maybe to reach out to clothing brands. Like, don't underestimate networking spaces, maybe like conferences that people are doing, like, fashion weeks and stuff like that. Try to get into spaces where your clients would be. Try to, listen, there's many ways to market yourself without spending a crazy amount. But personally, I lean towards paid marketing, and if you could only do one, I would say only do paid, but in an ideal world, you're doing both. You're still marketing yourself even while you're doing paid marketing. It's just that paid marketing has faster results, just that it costs a lot more. So going on to our next step, lifelong learning. Now listen, business is an ever-changing field, and I feel like I want to give you guys like a kind of personal story right now to kind of understand where I'm coming from. So entrepreneurial pursuits are something that's kind of like inbred in me. I won't pretend like I came from like a long line of business persons, but my mother, she had a prominent business when I was growing up. I kind of watched her, grow her business and do certain things. And I feel like a lot of my perspectives on business are based off her. And I kind of watched how her business kind of changed. So my mother had like a retail store basically. She did retail clothing. And something that people really need to get used to is things are ever changing. Like right now, in the advent of like AI and all these things, I know the photography space and the videography space is going to be rapidly changing. And going back to my point with my mom, during her retail era, like, there wasn't all these, other cheaper brands at the time. Like, basically people would go to like another country, whether that's the United States or Panama or wherever, they'd buy stuff, bring them back, and then, resell them. But then that kind of changed because, you know, you had like the cheaper stores coming in, like Shein and Temu, and people buy clothes on Temu. I don't know, maybe not Temu is the example. Shein and Fashion Nova, and basically those really low budget retail sites. And I feel like when that happened, a lot of these commercial stores didn't really pay attention to the market. They didn't really continue to like learn. They kind of had a process and be like, okay, this is my process. I don't care what's happening in the market. And then, yeah, like it kind of was very tough on her business because things kind of switched over. People weren't necessarily going into like brick and mortar clothing stores anymore. They're kind of buying everything online. And I say this to say, you have to constantly be keeping abreast of the market. Photography and videography is a very fast-pacing thing. If you want to be successful, you can't just say, okay, I'm going to learn the basics. There's always new techniques, there's always things happening. And I know it can be overwhelming, but if you want to have a successful business, you have to keep up to date. You have to keep up to date with the trends. You have to constantly be learning. Like, don't be afraid to invest in learning material. It's ironic because I never went to, well, Cap actually did. I never finished college, but I'm very big on paid learning. I'm very big on courses because you have to keep up to date with the space. Like, I always find it ironic where I have a friend where I'm constantly like fighting about doing paid learning because he's just like, why'd I pay for a course? It's a scam. And I'm like, but you paid to go to college and the material that you're learning isn't even up to date. The difference is when I do a course, like when I do an online course, it was probably made in the last year or maybe the last couple of months. And these people are updating the material based on what they're learning in the actual space. Like, I don't know how long it takes for a college curriculum to be updated. I don't know how much channels it has to go through to be approved. It's just like, it's crazy to me that people are so scared to invest in like learning about the spaces because obviously you can't do everything yourself. So saying all this to say is you have to keep competitive. Don't be afraid to purchase the Skillshare course. Don't be afraid to go to the networking event where people might be teaching you about different styles of photography. Don't be afraid to do a one-on-one mentorship with somebody, do a coaching call. I know it might not seem like the best use of your money because we don't like to spend money and stuff like that. As a photographer or videographer, you might like buying lenses and lights. You know, I hate buying audio gear. When I buy audio gear, I'm so pissed. But it's necessary. If you couldn't hear this video, it wouldn't work. And it's the same thing. You need to keep abreast of the space. That's going to be your photography techniques, your video techniques, the different ways people are receiving stuff, the different marketing stuff, the different things for your business. Like basically all I'm trying to say is don't stop learning. The moment you stop learning, you're going to stop earning. Copyright that. Copyright that. So yeah, conferences and workshops, community engagement. Like, don't be afraid to reach out to other photographers in the space. Don't be like, just please, guys, just keep going. Like, once you get stuck in your ways and you refuse to change, you're gonna get left behind. I think that is something that I really need to, because your business might reach to a point and then you just stop evolving, and that can be where you really start crashing down. That can be the part where your business doesn't keep going. So next segment is building an online presence. Now this part, I'm not gonna lie to you, can be pretty hard. Now as a photographer and a videographer, you don't necessarily need to have a website. Honestly, your Instagram can be your website. But it's always good to have a space on the internet that is your own, and your website is your own personal space. So if you can afford it, I would say go for that website, get a professional looking website, pay somebody to create a website for you. If you cannot, if you can, do it yourself. But if you don't have the money at all and you don't have any funds, extra funds, focus on your Instagram, do your paid marketing, and then once you get the funds, build your own personal website. Optimizing your social media, that's gonna mean posting content. And I'm a hypocrite for this one, guys, because I struggle when it comes to posting content. I have way too much things to do. I'm swamped with edits, but I try to keep a relatively present social media. So I try to post on occasion. I try to share my work. I try to do these YouTube videos for you guys. This video is going to be a very long video because I really hope that you guys can watch this video and get something from it. Like, honestly, if you got something from this video, let me know in the comments. If you have any questions personally, I want to answer those questions. So if you're starting your business, you need some advice, you need some tips, feel free to ask. I'm actually thinking of creating a course where I'm going to go through all these things in much more detail. But I'm just trying to do this one for you guys, 2025. want you guys to crush some goals. So yeah, engaging on social media, creating content relevant to your niche, with relevant to whatever you're offering. I know I haven't deep dived into niches because this is general business stuff. I'm not going too deep into content creation. Just do it. Like, just, honestly, people like to make things a lot more complicated than they are. Yes, I could tell you a lot of different complex strategies, but you just get a lot. If you're just posting like one video per week, you'd see a lot more traction. We'd have a lot of data for me to then give you more detailed techniques. So the idea is just do something, and then from there we can really dig deeper into it. It's gonna be a nice one. Diversifying your income streams. So that's something that I can touch on a little bit. So photography, videography is my main source of income, but I am also now encouraging persons to diversify the income through stuff like YouTube. YouTube is a great way to diversify income. I create YouTube videos like this and I get paid through AdSense whenever you guys watch the ads. Also creating like presets or LUTs, creating editing presets for Photoshop or Lightroom, selling a course. So it's still for more photographers, videographers. You basically just add other things separate from your service. So instead of someone just booking you for a video shoot, they could also purchase one of your After Effects presets, or they could purchase you showing them a course, showing them how to do a particular effect. It's important to diversify income streams because you don't only want to be able to make money by going physically to a shoot. Just ensure that whatever you're offering is of lots of value for your potential client or potential person. So let me see if I can think of any more things you guys could offer. I did say LUTs. I did say YouTube. What else do people sell online? Courses. If I can't, I don't think I can think of anything else. So yeah, this was an extremely long video, guys. I really hope you particularly enjoyed this video. I'm hoping that a lot of lessons were learned. I'm hoping that you're able to take this and really kickstart your business. If you're trying to grow your business in 2025, you need some tips, let me know in the comments. I'm very not grateful. I'm very willing to help. So yeah, just say what is that you're trying to do. Let's be engaged in the comments. And if you are in the comments as well and you see somebody that needs some help, feel free to shed some light. Thank you guys for watching this video all the way to the end. If you enjoyed this video, the YouTube algorithm says you're gonna love this video right here.